Beautiful people, 4 weeks out. We are 4 weeks out from Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. What an unbelievable fight. I cannot wait to be there. I'm going to be at the arena, live, front and center, to witness this unbelievable card in the beautiful kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And let me start off by saying this. Listen, I love Devin Haney. I've been talking to Devin Haney for a couple of years now, and the man, my Muslim brother, my beautiful Muslim brother, I will forever love and respect Devin Haney, even if he suffered like 20 losses in a row. That doesn't matter to me because it's bigger than boxing. But let me tell you a thing or two about the current WBO champion of the world, the assassin from the South, Brian Norman Jr., my God. Before making this video, I was like, you know what, let me watch every single Brian Norman Jr. fight available. And let me tell you, beautiful people, the man is an absolute monster. And listen, even though I love Devin Haney, much respect to my Muslim brother, but Brian Norman I believe he's going to win this fight. And not only do I believe that he's going to win this fight, but I believe that, listen, if only you see what I see. If you go back and watch all of his fights, the man is so powerful, he's so violent, he's so ferocious, he's so intelligent, he's so athletic, he's so powerful, and he is so charismatic. His aura inside during his presence, his self-awareness, his IQ, his punch selection, the sharp jab, the stab to the body, the left hook, the clubbing right hand, his footwork, his body work, his mental pressure. Listen, Brian Norman Jr. is without a question the best welterweight on planet Earth. And I believe that years down the line, we're going to be talking about this man as a legend, as an all-time great in the making. And the man is he's about to be 25 years old next month. How crazy is that? So that tells me that we haven't even seen 50 or 60% of Brian's full potential. And the man is already this scary. And let me tell you, beautiful people, I hear a lot of people talking about his resume, Devin's resume, this and that. Listen, I met Regis Prograis, one of Devin's biggest wins. I met actually Regis when he fought versus Tyrone McKenna here in Dubai. And listen, beautiful people, Regis Prograis is a small man. Like, he's so small. Like, it was actually shocking to, like, it was my first time actually going to a boxing event live. I've been to like many MMA events, but boxing, that was my first event. And let me tell you, beautiful people, Regis Prograis is an incredibly small man. He's like 5'5", 5'6", 5'6" probably. I met him right after his fight. And, I was sitting in the first row watching him versus Tyrone McKenna. Much respect to Tyrone McKenna, but Tyrone McKenna isn't an elite fighter. Like, he fights in between 140 to 147. He's a 140 pounder, zero defense, no power. He's just tough. Like, he's a tough Irishman, and he's a lovely human being. But he literally hit Regis Prograis with the kitchen sink. I mean, Regis Prograis couldn't duck a punch to save his life, couldn't avoid a punch to save his life. And they both took so much damage in that fight, but because Tyrone didn't have any power and didn't have really any accuracy or precision, Regis was able to absorb his shots, and then Regis stopped him. He dropped him, I believe, in the second round. It was like a beautiful knockdown. Like, I remember that watching that fight live, I was like, this is Regis Prograis? This is like the guy who they call elite? Like, I was actually shocked. Actually, on that card, there was this Armenian fighter. His name is Bachkov. He's an Olympian. I believe he hasn't even turned pro yet. And he looked way better than Regis. And they are in the similar weight classes. He looked actually like an elite fighter. His body work, his speed, his sharpness, his feints. Regis he's so slow, so small, not as powerful as you might think. So when Devin Haney fought him, I was like, this is a mismatch. Like, Devin Haney is an elite fighter. Like, yes, Devin Haney doesn't have really like crazy power. He doesn't have like, but he is an elite fighter. Like, he is a former undisputed champion. Even though, love Devin, but he definitely lost to Lomachenko. Let's be honest. But so when he fought Regis, I was like, listen, like this is a crazy mismatch. And Regis lost the fight before that to Zorrilla in his hometown, but they gave him the decision. And Regis lost the fight after that and the fight after that. So Regis, in all actuality, I don't believe he was ever an elite fighter. And let's also talk about George Kambosos. You know, I love George Kambosos. I actually picked him to beat Teofimo, and I did a podcast with him before the fight. And we literally predicted every single thing that was going to happen. I predicted that he was going to drop Teo. He was going to outwork him, possibly even stop him. Simply because Teo wasn't truly focused on the task at hand. But why am I saying all these things? Listen, yes, Devin Haney got names on his resume, but they are all small men. Like, do you realize how small Jojo Diaz is? And the way that he had like Regis out on his feet. And do you realize how small Regis is? And they both looked like around the same size when they fought each other. And even Lomachenko, like Lomachenko, when Lomachenko stood next to Devin, he was like, this is a heavyweight. Not because Devin is a massive guy. I've met Devin in New York. I was at Devin's last fight. I was there to support my Muslim brother. And Devin is also like not a big guy. Like, I'm not a big guy and I'm way bigger than Devin. You know, taller, bigger in size, but like Lomachenko, Regis, Kambosos, it's like, love Devin like I said, but he has never fought someone as young, as big, as powerful, and as confident as Brian Norman Jr. And listen, Brian Norman Jr., say whatever you want about the man's resume. Oh, he didn't fight any elite fighters, no undisputed, this and that. Who cares? Who cares? We saw it when Canelo fought Bud. Everyone said Canelo got the resume, Bud hasn't fought anyone. Bud destroyed him, completely demolished him, and Canelo's resume is 10 times better. But when you are a star, when you are a big name in the sport of boxing, you can pick and choose who you want to fight. So it's okay to fight. So you can definitely fight big names, smaller than you, older than you, this and that. Like, we know the game. I love Devin Haney, but I'm not a fanboy. Like, I'm not a lover of the man. You know, I love him as, you know, as a human, my Muslim brother. But I'm not just gonna simply lie because I like Devin. And I have never picked against Devin Haney. I'll put that out there. But when you talk about fighting someone like Brian Norman Jr., this is a different game. And Brian Norman Jr., his dad, Brian Norman Sr., is an absolute genius. When you talk about his IQ and awareness in the ring, why? Is because he was a fighter. He knows what it takes to dig deep. He knows what it takes to get better. He knows what it takes to not be the A side. He knows what it means to be doubted and to be put on the B side and to be screwed by promoters and fighters on the A side. Fighting, you know, like, I can go on and on and on. So when you hear Brian Norman talk, he doesn't just talk like a mastermind as a trainer, but he also talks as a fighter. And that is where I believe Bill Haney met his superior adversary. If you actually look at it, you know, when he met Kambosos Sr., Jim Kambosos, you know, Kambosos was also like fellow promoter like Bill Haney, but never really fought. So yes, Bill, definitely, and much love and respect to Bill Haney. You know, the man is also an incredible dad, human being, like Muslim, like the Haney family, they're just amazing, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like don't like them in the boxing community. I believe mostly like Ryan Garcia fans. But they are good people. They are incredible people at that. But listen, Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr. as a team, as a whole, as an entity, they have an unbreakable bond. And not only does Brian Norman Jr. have an unbelievable mind and IQ when you talk about this, I mean, listen, just listen to him in the corner, how he talks to Brian. And listen and watch his mannerisms, you know. Brian Norman Jr., when he went to Japan to fight Jin Sasaki. I believe that Jin Sasaki was on rocket fuel that night. He fought like a man who was possessed. He fought like he was on crack, literally. He was on something. I'm telling you, beautiful people. I've been watching combat sports for over a decade. I know someone on PEDs when I see him, you know. The way that he kept getting dropped, kept getting back up like a demon, you know, like a man possessed. And when do you ever see that, you know? Jin Sasaki is a very, very powerful fighter. He would knock out most of Devin Haney's resume, in my opinion. He's young, powerful, fearless, and enhanced. Not a natural fighter. And got a chin. Listen, Brian gave him some punishment before he knocked him out. And he kept coming on and on and on. And listen, say whatever you want about Jin Sasaki's resume, but Jin Sasaki would knock out Regis Prograis. He would knock out George Kambosos. He would knock out Gamboa. He would knock out all these guys. He would destroy Linares. Especially Linares doesn't have a chin. And not just that, you know, the first time I was like, oh my God, Brian Norman Jr. is the real deal. When he fought Giovanni Santillan, you know, he's an unbelievable fighter. He's a monster. Southpaw, pressure fighter, iron chin, power, you know, crazy body work, crazy. Giovanni Santillan is also not the biggest name, not the greatest resume, but I guarantee he would absolutely wipe the floor with all these guys. Linares, Jojo, Regis. Like, I'm telling you, like, I saw Regis fight live. I was there, literally front and center. I was like inches away from the ring. Regis, you know, he's no defense, very small, very slow feet. Like even this guy, Cuevas, that Brian Norman fought, I never heard of him before the fight, but when I started watching him, you know, his left hook is lethal. And with Regis getting hit with everything in the kitchen sink, what happens if you get hit with a devastating left hook like Cuevas's? So like, this is such a deceiving storyline in this fight. Oh, Devin's resume versus Brian's resume. I promise you, beautiful people, every single person, Brian never fought, you know, someone with a like mega star name. But he fought killers. He fought punchers, all good chins, all young, all confident, who truly believe they will win. Giovanni Santillan in his hometown, he didn't have a single doubt in his mind. I remember watching an interview before the fight. They were like, listen, Brian got power. What do you think? He was like, listen, I got power too. He's in my hometown, I'm going to knock him out. I was like, Giovanni Santillan doesn't have a single doubt in his mind that he's going to win this fight. Same thing for Sasaki. Went to the US, went to Brian's fight, called him out in front of his, like, in his home country. So this is, don't get deceived by the resumes. Resumes don't fight. Resumes don't have hands. Resumes don't have heart. Resumes are names on paper. And when Devin Haney fights Brian Norman in Riyadh, Brian Norman's belt will be on the line. But Devin Haney's life will be on the line. And I promise you, beautiful people,